When you have your own startup, you have to start doing marketing and you probably don't know where to start. So today I'm going to give you the complete full blueprint how to start your marketing as a startup. We're going to go through all the basics, starting with defining your business. Then we're going to look at your website. We're going to figure out what you should do on your social media channels. So all the basics you will get covered in our blueprint today. So be sure to stick around. So let's just start. First, the most important thing, you need to define what is the function of going to be of your marketing. What do you want to achieve? First of all, you want to define your business. That's going to be the ground for your marketing, essentially how you're going to be communicating your brand, how you're going to be communicating your values, and what value does your product bring to people. So first, conduct the market research, see what kind of trends there are on the internet, on other medias, right? Figure out for whom you're making your product. So your target audience, know their age, demographics, know their habits, what kind of job do they do, when do they wake up, right? At what time do they wake up, what time do they have breakfast. You want to know absolutely everything about your target audience. You want to know what kind of problems they have, and essentially you want to build that buyer persona. So like the image of the potential perfect client for your company that will be using your product, and that product will solve his or her problem. And there are going to be tons of competitors already on the market. So you also need to conduct that research among other competitors or other products that are already on the market. So you need to start figuring out how your product and how your brand is going to be different from what's already on the market. So you need to have a unique value proposition. Investors care about that. Your clients care about that. Why your product is better what's already on the market. Why can I just use their product? Why do I have to change my ways of doing things so that I can start using your product? So you have to convince that you are different, that you do something a little bit better so that you have a better product and unique value proposition. So when you build that ground and you know what you want to do with your marketing, what functions it has to serve to your product, to your company, and to your clients, then you need to start building brand image because you want to have your brand image get across to your clients. When they look at your name or your logo, they already have to know the values that your product or your company provides. They have to have some kind of relationship. They have to have feelings towards your brand. Like, for instance, when you look at Apple, what feelings do you have when you look at Apple products, Apple computers? Like elegance, simplicity, right? So that is the branding image. So you have the perception of the brand because of the colors, because of how they communicate their brand to their clients. And you can start with creating the name of your company, and you want it to be well pronounced, you want it to be short probably, and ideally you want it later to match with your domain for the website, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. So you have your name, and you need to make a logo for that. So when you create that logo, there are a bunch of ways to make a logo. Right now, the trends of the simpler the better. And all the companies are going from like beautiful colored or defined logos to more simplistic ones. Some logos are just like scribbles, like that's a logo. And how you can make that logo. So how, for example, in our company in our startup, we just went to Canva and they have a bunch of templates for logos, and we just copied it, we tweaked it a little bit, and we started using it because we were coming up with it for weeks, and then we decided, you know what, we also can do our branding later, so let's just stick with whatever they have at Canva. Let's try to modify a little bit. And on Canva, they have a lot of cool templates that you can actually edit. They have a bunch of different graphics, a bunch of different symbols, and you can change the colors, change the sizes, change the shapes, and all of that. So try Canva for that. But if you really don't want to spend any time on that, and you have some money, you can actually go to Fiverr, and for 20 or 30 bucks, you will get a professional, clean, nice looking logo in like no time. So that's another option. But you also want to come up with colors. What color are you going to be using for your brand? What's going to be the main color? What are going to be the accent colors? A really cool website for that is coolors.co. So you can just randomly generate the palettes. You can change the colors. You can see what colors work best. So you can also apply those colors to your logos. You can see how it's going to be looking with your brand. And When you're done with your colors, you will be consistent with that because that was going to be the colors of your brand. You will be using them across your website, across your social media posts, across your email newsletters. So be sure you like the colors and be sure that the color communicates what you want it to communicate. Because every color is kind of like has its own emotion. White is for Apple, right? Apple uses white color because it's the color of simplicity, of elegance, of cleanness, right? What else do we have? Red is the color of emotion. Yellow is the color of like happiness, like being happy or something. Look at the color wheel and see what kind of emotions you want your brand to be associated with. So just pick the color based on that, pick the accent colors according to that, and stick to that because you have to be consistent with your colors. And you also have to have the fonts that you will be using consistently across your website and across your social media channels, but more about that later. And again, Canva is kind of provides the full suite of branding tools. So everything you need to start with your brand. You can create brochures in there, you can create pitch decks, presentations, kind of marketing material starting, and you can create it in Canva using a bunch of graphics. They have pictures, they have stock videos, they have even music. You can generate pictures in there right now because already they have a bunch of AI tools. So they have a bunch of templates for different documents and even social media posts, so which is also can be used. So yeah, Canva is like #1 tool you use for starting your brand, and even when your brand is already built up, you still would be using Canva because it's so simple to use and they have a lot of materials in there, a lot of templates, so it's really cool. Okay, but now let's talk about the website. So you need to have a website. Whether you are software as a service, whether you're selling something, or even if you are offering services, you still need to have a website. So how you can create a website if you already don't have that? You are an early stage startup and you, you sell mugs, for instance. And you need to have a website, but you don't have any programs with you, so what do? You can use like drag and drop website builders like Wix, Webflow, WordPress. It's pretty much no-code platforms where you can just drag and drop and design the website that you want. You need to have these pages, so you need to have About Us, you can have Contact Us form where people can send their emails to you and you get it on your email. You need to put the price in there, social media links, frequently asked questions, testimonials if you have them. If you don't have them, then don't imagine them. That's poor branding. And you need to put the demo calendar if you offer some kind of a demonstration of your product, especially if it's a software as a service. The good scheduling software for that, for instance, we use it, Calendly. It's free also, so it's easy to integrate with Wix, Webflow, and WordPress, so try using that. And essentially, if you are selling something physical, like through Etsy or Shopify, they already have website builders in there. They have simple boilerplate templates, which you can use. Don't use any AI website builders. I know that it can be a daunting task to design a website when you have to be creative and all of that, but those AI builders really suck. And you're still gonna have to redesign everything, or if you're gonna leave it like that, then the website is just not gonna look good. And if the website doesn't look appealing or it's slow, but we're gonna talk about SEO later, then people are not likely to stay on your website and not likely to buy anything from you. So when you create your website, when you build a website on Webflow, on Wix, you can actually already host it there. On Webflow it costs like $18 a month. On Wix it costs like $40 a month. And yeah, if you buy a custom domain from GoDaddy or Namecheap, they also offer some website builders, some simple boilerplate templates for your website. But yeah, you gotta be a little bit creative in there. Actually, you can also build a website with Canva, but it's not a great website builder. There are much better ones out there. If you really don't want to spend time and creativity and effort designing a website, maybe you just you put the effort, but the website kind of doesn't look that good, then you can just outsource it on Fiverr or any freelancing platform like freelancer.com or Upwork. And for 100, 200 bucks, you will get a nice, clean, professional looking website that you can already host, and people already can come to that website and look at it. So yeah, and let's talk about the domains a little bit. You need to have a domain that suits your name. The shorter and the cleaner, the better sounding, the better. For instance, if you sell mugs, right? The ideal domain would be like mugs.com, something like that. But if you have like mugs and some bunch of symbols and numbers, that's not gonna look good, and it's not gonna look professional, and it's not gonna be looking memorable. So when people are gonna be talking to each other like random people, and they will be promoting you word of mouth, they'll be like, hey, you know what? You can buy really cool mugs on mugs XYZ 1, 2, 3, 4, and all that. It's just not good. You need to have like clean, professional, custom domain. You can buy they can get expensive, but you can consider an investment. But if you really don't want to spend that money, which is reasonable, you can go to auctions and wait for them when they're like cost like 5 or 10 bucks. There are a bunch of extensions, XYZ, .net, .org, 1, 2, 3, but the best extensions are always gonna be .com. It's like the first extension is like the most reliable. So people still have prejudices about different domains and different extensions, but .com is like the most trustworthy. Or the second place would be .net. So yeah, auctions is the place to go. The Namecheap and GoDaddy are like the first platforms where you should look for the domain names. And also, I forgot, yeah, you have to have blog on your website. Why do you need a blog if you sell mugs, right? Because we're gonna talk a little bit later about the search engine optimization, and Google is gonna be ranking your website based on keywords and how often people come to your website, and if your website offers helpful information that helps someone, they're gonna rank you higher, so they're gonna put you in front of more people, and essentially more people are gonna come to your website organically, so you don't have to pay for advertising because Google does it for you for free. So that's why search engine optimization is so cool, and you need to implement it on your website, but a little bit about it later. If you sell mugs, you can write blogs about, I don't know, how to take care of your kitchen or the cutlery essentials in your house or something like that. It doesn't have to be 100% related to your product or your service, but it has to be at least in that niche. And make sure you actually write helpful blogs, because if they're not, if they're just a bunch of text, then, well, Google's not going to push you out, because essentially you write for people, not for Google. So if you are software as a service and you're selling that software on your website, you're hosting it in web, then you're probably going to have to create the website right with your software. So you have to have front end and back end kind of together. Because if you have Wix website, Wix on the front end, and you have a back end, and they're kind of on different places, so when people come to front end on the landing page, they have to be redirected to the back end, to their software when they're registered. And there's going to be pain in the ass later down the road when you have more professional programmers with you, you have a team, and they have to design both things. So it's better to hard code the website and the program together. So you have a front end and a back end on one website, on one domain. So that's another thing to consider. So that's why outsourcing option looks so good. Okay, but that's about the website, and we'll talk more about it when we'll talk about search engine optimization. But right now, let's move on to email marketing. So you bought that domain, you bought that custom domain, and now you have to integrate it with some kind of a email providing services. So the most popular email providers are Google Suite and Microsoft. We use both of them. So actually Google Suite offers like a month free trial, so you can try it, see if you like it. Both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. For example, Google is simple to use because Microsoft, if you have a bunch of different accounts on one computer, you have to log in and log out of every service. If you are logged in with one account on Outlook, but on Teams you have another account, and yet you have a meeting there, you're gonna have to log out, and then the next thing you know, you're late to your meeting in Teams, which is like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's super annoying. But yet, everyone I know actually uses Microsoft. Universities use Microsoft. So yeah, just try them both. Like Google Suite is free. Microsoft, I think, also offers something for free, but you need to connect your domain to those email providers, and you need to create a bunch of emails for yourself and your team members. I'll save you time. Like the best option is like having your first name and at business.com, again, .com. For example, Sergey at workai.com, right? Simple. When you do that, you also need to have some email marketing software. When someone registers on your website, they get a confirmation email to their inbox, or they get some updates about your company or about your product, or you just send them the newsletter. So when they register, you get their emails. You can also have like some kind of opt-in form where they can sign up for a newsletter. That way you collect emails from people who registered on your website, or maybe they just sign up for the newsletter because they want to get updates or product news or some discounts. And then you can start sending them a bunch of cool emails that's probably going to end up in spam, but still that's part of the game. So we tried both of MailChimp and SendGrid, which are both the most popular ones, and they also have free tiers. So MailChimp kind of sucked for us, but right now we're sticking with SendGrid, actually. They're simple to integrate, they're simple to use, they have nice analytics in there, and they have also very simple to use designing page where you can design your newsletters. So you sign up for those email marketing softwares, and you need to create sequences. So when people sign up to your service on your website, you need to send them the welcome email. Probably a good rule of thumb is send them 5 of them. 5, not in a row, but like space them out in a few days or even a week. Then you can create follow-up sequence. So when someone purchases something on your Shopify or just on your website maybe, you need to send them like confirmation email, or if they didn't buy something, they left the product in their cart and they're waiting for something, like they just bounced, you can send them, you forgot to pay for your products in your cart on our website. So yeah, create the follow-up sequence, and you also need to design the newsletter. So a really good website to use, actually really good emails. So this is a website it has a collection of really cool newsletters from popular companies. So you can search a bunch of different companies. They have newsletters from Apple, from, for example, Under Armour, and a bunch of other popular websites or popular manufacturers, popular brands that design their newsletters. And you can, well, you're a startup, like just go and copy their newsletter. There's a line which I wouldn't go past because like copyright issues, right? So yeah, go check out those newsletter designs and come up with your design. You can, again, use Canva for that. But again, all the designing is going to be happening in those email marketing softwares. So you can either design with HTML code, just hard-coded, or you can just, again, drag and drop. And you also need to add opt-out, unsubscribe button. So like in the upper corner or in the bottom, like if they don't want to get emails, they have an option to click the button unsubscribe, and they will be unsubscribed and they will not be getting emails anymore. That's kind of required by those hosting services like Gmail and Outlook, so that if they don't see that you send that newsletter without the unsubscribe button, then they're going to mark it as spam, and so you don't want that. So make sure you add that opt-out button, and always add your address of your offices or where your business is legally located. So again, that's kind of like the law. Otherwise, you will end up in spam. And the most important thing about the emails, always, newsletter emails, cold emails, the subject lines. Avoid clickbait because it's just gonna piss people off. So yeah, just nice catchy subject line that make people want to click, but not like clickbait, because again, don't do that. You can also design some lead magnet. What does that mean? So it sort of gives people an incentive to leave their email on your website or for your newsletter. Like, sign up for our newsletter to get a free PDF guide on how to use artificial intelligence, for instance. So those lead magnets could be promo codes, free books, free guides, free courses, or I don't know, free samples of the software, or whatever. So yeah, leave your email, sign up, and you will get a link in your email. So yeah, just spend some time and design something that you can give away for free once a person signs up with their email. So that's also like a good marketing strategy. All right, so we've covered the emails. Now let's talk about the search engine optimization. Like I said, it's super important. Search engine optimization is the long game. You're not going to see results in probably a while, but in the long run, you will have people coming to your website organically without you needing to pay for advertising, which is really, really cool. But to do that, you need to put some effort into it, right? So if you are building the website by yourself, like hard coding with some programming language, you need to buy an HTTPS certificate, because whenever you create the website and you push it to the web, it's going to be HTTP without the S. That means you just create that website and it's not certified and it's not classified as the safe website to be at. So basically people will not be able to come to your website. And if you buy a domain name from like GoDaddy or Namecheap, you already can buy a certificate in there. Also, it's going to be costing like $5 or something. And you can already put it on your website and you will have that HTTPS. So that means your website is certified and it's safe to be on that website. You need to always check your speed. So when you create that website, you push it whether from Wix or from you hard coding the website, you need to check how quickly the website is loading. Pull out your phone and go to your website. If it's loading kind of slow on the phone, then it's bad for you. It's bad for the CEO. It's bad for a person who's going to be using it on their phones. It's the same for desktop. So actually those website builders, they give you an opportunity to design your website for all the devices. So phone, tablet, and computer. So take advantage of that. You can check page speed on a bunch of different websites. You can use, for instance, pigdom.com. Check the speed of how it's loading. So if your website is loading like 5 seconds, it's terrible. Or even 3 seconds, terrible. It has to be like instantaneous. So mobile friendliness. Again, most people use their phones these days to go to their website, especially when they get emails. Also, like people usually check their emails on their phones while they're driving or they're, I don't know, on the bus and they're checking their emails. So that's why you need to make sure your website is loading well on the mobile. And on the mobile devices, well, also on desktops. But it's also the same for emails. So make sure your emails open well and they look nice and clean on the mobile phones also. All right, now let's talk about authority. You can check your authority of the website on SEMrush.com. Actually, SEMrush is a really cool suite of tools for search engine optimization. It's actually pretty expensive, but you can also use it for free. You probably can't afford it as an early stage startup, but later on, definitely consider purchasing their services. So you need to check your authority. So for example, Forbes magazine online, right? It has high authority. Apple.com has high authority because of the traffic, because how many people come and how long they stay on their website. So that essentially builds authority. Authority is how reliable and trustworthy information is on your website. Google doesn't read anything on your website. Google sort of just analyzes the behavior of people who come to your website. So that's why you need to write stuff, the blogs, everything on your website for people, but yet Google analyzes the behavior of those people. Yeah, check the authority. You will also, it's a good idea to have backlinks. What is backlink? Backlink is when someone from external website, not your website, from other people's website, come to you. So essentially those websites redirect to you. You could partner up for some affiliate partnerships, we'll talk about it later, to come to your website. For instance, I don't know, like there are a bunch of blog posts on 10 best AI tools, right? Artificial intelligence. So, and for instance, someone clicks on Work AI in there, like our website, they come to us, boom, we got one backlink, and our authority is gonna go up a little because people coming to our website from other places. So yeah, you need to partner up with those blog websites so that they can put the links of your website so that they can come from them. So essentially that's also gonna rank you a little bit higher. Keyword research. You need to have a lot of keywords that are related to you, to your brand, and to your product. So again, Apple computers, Apple phones, I don't know, devices, all of those are keywords that Apple ranks for. You can check the keywords that you can rank on these websites. So yeah, some keywords are really competitive, like really competitive, so that it's going to be really hard for you to rank. But you can choose the keywords that people search for that still can bring traffic to your website. So when you research those keywords, you need to use those words on your website when creating copies, when writing blogs, maybe even writing social media posts. Like when you upload YouTube videos, you have SEO tags in there. So again, those are keywords that you can rank for, so when people search for those keywords, your content pops up or your website. And when you build a website, by the way, you also need to take care of technical SEO, technical search engine optimization. You need to make sure that your pages are indexed. You need to make sure that Google indexed, so went through every page on your website, so there are any errors. So you can check that again with Google. Google has SEO tools in there. They are completely free. Make sure you have your pages indexed. Make sure that you have everywhere the SEO descriptions for your images, so that your images that lead to your website can pop up on Google Images, and all of that technical stuff. Usually programmers take care of that, or people who really work with SEO. So later down the road, yeah, make sure you have people for that. And also, if you sell something or you have business for locals, for instance, you sell, I don't know, pies on the street, then make sure you have the Google My Business. So you can create that store page in Google. So if people on the map search for, I don't know, pies in my local area, you're gonna pop up on there. So you're gonna rank there also. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the blogs, and then we'll be transitioning to social media. So first of all, whenever you write blogs or create posts for social media, always pick a niche. That's the most important thing, for whom you're writing, for whom you're creating social media posts. So who do you want to reach? Do the research. What works on the blogs? What works in social media? So those things are always important. And never assume things. Never in business assume things. Never assume anything. If you think that some blog post is gonna work just because you came up with an idea and you think, wow, that's probably gonna work because it's useful, you might think that, but for your target audience, it might not be useful because you don't know. You assumed. You didn't test. Same goes for social media. You think that your educational content about, I don't know, cutlery is gonna work. Well, maybe, but the thing that really work right now, for instance, on TikTok, is some girls dancing or some really stupid things, or like games like Minecraft. Those things that are really working on TikTok. So I know it's comparing apples to oranges, but still, don't assume things. Just because you think it's gonna work, still you need to test and figure out what works for your niche, for your blog, or for your social media. But more about social media later. So yeah, the most important thing, pick a niche, then solve the problem of your target audience. And then write the blog for them. So that could be anything. So if you're selling cameras, here's the article, like 5 ways to improve your YouTube videos, like how to set up lighting, right? So for instance, that solves a problem, and yet your store might be selling cameras. And then on the bottom of the page, you can like buy our cameras, or include, by the way, always include opt-in forms for your products, for updates on your company and everything. Add links to other articles. First of all, that's good for your search engine optimization, for your website. And again, you're driving traffic to other articles. So that people are less likely to bounce from your article when they're done reading, but they're like, oh, there's another article. I'll go check that out. So yeah, put the links, put the opt-in forms on the bottom of each article. Create summary in the beginning. It's like really useful actually to put some summary in the beginning, like if people don't have time. But yet you essentially want to keep people on your website as long as possible. because again, that gives Google or other search engines a signal that this is a good website. That way you're building authority, you're telling Google that you deserve to have more traffic, more organic growth. And by the way, on the website, to keep people on your website, you can try also putting a video, like any YouTube video. So for instance, they went through your website, and on the bottom there's a video of you talking to someone, like a podcast or something, and yet it's like an hour long, but yet if they watch at least like 5 minutes, Google is gonna count that 5 minutes as they stayed on your website longer. Again, good for your search engine optimization. So put the summary in the beginning, put the photos, so have high quality photos, so like to keep people engaged, because still if it's just text, it's kind of boring. I would also advise not to write like everyone does, like black text on paper, on like white, bright white. It's going to be painful for the eyes. Instead, you can, on your website, you can have like slightly grayish instead of white, and instead of black text, again, like dark gray. It's going to be easier on the eyes, just like a little thing. And also you can offer dark mode on your website and your blog, so that maybe people are reading in at night, or I don't know, and they're poor lighting. Make sure when you put the photos on your website, check their sizes, because it can also affect your loading page. So that means your the loading speed of your page is going to be lower. Again, it gives this signal to Google that you don't offer high quality information, that you have a slow page. So that is bad for your SEO. So make sure you have appropriate sizes. Check the loading speed of each article, and make sure you use a lot of keywords for which you want your website to rank. So again, if you're selling cameras, put a lot of keywords: camera, YouTube, videos, so keywords. Use keywords everywhere, even in your articles. So again, a little bit of technical SEO. You need to have alternative text for your page, for your photos. Make sure you have tags for which you want your page to rank. Make sure you have description of the photos. It's kind of like you describe what the photo is about. It's like you're kind of trying to describe it to a blind man. And again, it's kind of weird. Why would you describe blind man with a text? But it's just the alternative text. It's like you're describing to Google, so that because they don't look at photos, they look at the text. And when you write each article, it's a good rule of thumb to write anywhere between 1,500 to 2,500 words. And the best spot is like 2,450 words. So if you write a little bit less, again, Google is not going to count as authoritative information. So yeah, write a little bit more, but again, avoid fluff. So it's like if your article is 1,500 words and you add like a bunch of useless text, fluff, to get it to 2,500, it's not going to do you any favors. So better just stick with 1,500. Okay, and you can use AI tools for copywriting. So even it's kind of funny, but actually right now Google ranks AI-generated posts, articles higher than the articles that were written by people. So that's kind of funny, but yeah, you can. If it works, it works, right? Use ChatGPT, use Claude, use Jasper. Jasper is like I think kind of the best AI copywriting tool right now. I don't know why it's still ChatGPT. Like Work AI, you can also use our tool, but essentially you can use any generative AI tool. You can use Google Bard. You can go to, I don't know, to basically any software as a service website that offers some kind of AI services. They always have some kind of generative AI tool. Like everyone has that, and it's still ChatGPT, by the way, always. It's either ChatGPT, or it's either Llama 2 from Meta, from Facebook, or it's Google Bard. But when you write your articles, you can use the AIDA network, which is AIDA framework, which is like the most popular one for copywriting. And you can also use it on your website, or when you kind of create any types of copies, or when you create even posts on social media, on LinkedIn, but more later. So AIDA essentially is an acronym for attention, interest, desire, and action. So attention, who is reading, for what's the demographics, where they're from, what's their age, what do they do, so what problem do they have, and how are you solving it? So that's attention. You need to grab their attention with the first couple of paragraphs. Then you're moving on to interest, so further down your article. So you need to build the argument for your product. You need to tell a little bit about your story, and you need to prove your brand with the testimonials. So yeah, I don't know what kind of article that's going to be, but it's very useful on the website. But if it's article about your product, then again, very useful framework. It's like the most popular one actually. So then desire. You need to transfer them from interest to desire so that they want to buy your product. You've talked about it in your article, and then they're like, all right, damn, I want to buy that freaking camera because it's described in that article so well, so I want to buy it. And then you further keep going how you can solve their problems even better. And then final action. You need to call them to action. Like go to our website and sign up for a free trial if it's a software. If it's a camera, sign up for our newsletter to get more updates or more courses how to use cameras and all of that. So again, opt-in forms, make it easy to buy. So again, check that your website is loading properly. Check out that the design is good, that there are buttons where they're supposed to be, that everything looks clean, nothing is confusing. So clean design. And essentially, that's the network you can use for your articles. You can use any types of copies. But social media. Social media is a big topic to talk about. But when you are an early stage startup, you don't know where to start, I'm going to walk you through. Damn, let's go. So here are the most popular social media channels. So pick the ones that are suitable for you. It could be 2, 3, 4. Like for instance, WorkAI, we are on 6 social medias, right? We are on Facebook, Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we are on LinkedIn, and we will put ourselves on Spotify also. But yeah, pick the social medias that work for you. For instance, if you sell some kind of a cool product like cameras, you can post on Twitter, you can post on Facebook, you can post on Instagram. You can also post on Pinterest, like the pictures that we're taking with your camera. Because Pinterest is more of a visual. They don't have a lot of text in there. So if you have a physical product, you definitely should consider Pinterest. But if you sell a software as a service, you kind of have nothing to do in there because like, what pictures are you gonna put in there? What, like stock pictures from Canva? I mean, come on. So yeah, pick the websites that you are willing to work on. Like TikTok is really cool. It's considered like Snapchat is kind of like a little bit for teenagers and kids, but still like a lot of businesses are in there. TikTok, the same thing. People are in there, like kids are in there. And a lot of people have prejudices about TikTok that just because they're kids, they don't have a target audience. And the biggest mistake businesses always make is that they assume that their target audience is not on some of these channels just because they don't like it. Just because you don't like that social media channel, maybe you don't like TikTok, right? I don't like TikTok, but it doesn't change the fact that my target customers can be there. So whether I like it or not, if I want to get them, I have to promote there also. That's an important thing to keep in mind. Just because you don't like social media channel doesn't mean that your target customers are not there. It's not about you, it's about them. A little bit later, is going to be talking about each of them in more detail. Pick the social media channels that you like, that you are going to work on, and you need to post at least once a day. But the more you post, the better. Because the more you post, the faster you're going to be growing, the faster you're going to be having organic growth, the faster people are going to be discovering you and coming to your channel and following you. And you can use scheduling softwares for that. So for instance, you create a bunch of shorts to upload them on TikTok. Instead of going to TikTok every, couple hours and then manually writing everything, you can just sit down and have some scheduling software. Social Bee, the way we use it, it's actually a really cool software. It's really simple. It's super easy to use. Like, you don't have to learn anything there. Like super easy. You can already put hashtags in there. You can have a calendar in there to schedule at the right time that you want to post, because posting times are also very, very important that you need to check. And then you can later use HubSpot, which is like more complicated a little bit. And actually HubSpot is like full suite of tools also. Again, like they have a customer relationship manager, like a CRM, they have all the marketing tools, they have email marketing there also. But yeah, try with Social Bee. It costs like $40 a month, but super easy to use, super cool actually. Like you can schedule posts, it's really cool. But let's move on. All right, but when we talk about social media, you again always have to pick the niche. Like niche is super important. So pick ideally one thing that you're gonna be posting about on your social media channels and well, writing blogs also. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can also post a bunch of different things. Like for instance, again, coming back to cameras. You can post about cameras, about YouTube videos, but you could also post on how to make great pictures, how to take pictures of landscapes, or like going into a little bit other niches, where you just talk about other consumer electronics. Like you can also do that. It doesn't have to be one specific niche that you have to stick with. Like be a little bit creative. Joe Rogan, he likes aliens, comedy, conspiracy theories. Lex Friedman, another podcaster, he likes martial arts, he likes artificial intelligence, and again, he likes science. So it doesn't have to be like one niche. And a lot of people advise to go on social medias and find content that you like and to recreate it, the same thing again, and putting a little bit of your own tweak into it. I don't really like that advice because again, you're copying someone, but why are you copying what they just said? Like it doesn't make a lot of sense. People can go watch their content. Why would they watch you? A lot of influencers advise you to like copy other creators until you start producing something more original. But it's never, I don't think it's like a good strategy. Instead, be original. Create yourself as an influencer. Create yourself as a creator and find what works for you. Find your brand image. You don't have to copy anyone, any influencer that you like, because, well, be original. And people actually will be more willing to watch you because you're not trying to be someone else, but you're actually being yourself. You actually talk about the things you like in the way that you want to be perceived. Like, just be yourself, and people will be coming to you. But of course, it's a long journey. Like you can see on our channel, you can check out our social media channels that we post a lot of great content, but we are growing really, really slowly. But still, there's going to be a point. There's always a point when something happens and the content it just explodes, and then you have people coming, you have people following you. It's just going to take time. So yeah, pick a niche, and then let's talk a little bit about social media channels. So in some social medias, it's enough to post once a day. In some channels, it's good to post like 5 times a day. For instance, TikTok. Like if you post 5 times a day, it's better. But if you post like a little bit, like 15 times a day, then platform is going to consider you as you're spamming. But Twitter, for instance, or X, is a really high volume platform. So you need to post, like everyone advises actually post like 7 times a day. Because, because posts are really easy to make. You just write a few sentences and you send them. That's sweet. So yeah, just pick the platforms that you like. And essentially you want to start making podcasts. Okay, what is a podcast? Well, podcast is when a bunch of people sit around the table and talk about stuff. Like they're experts or whatever. That's a podcast. So you create that long video that could be 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour, it could be whatever. And you can repurpose it later. So you can cut it in smaller pieces, in smaller clips, and upload them to YouTube. So, or you can remove the video, leave only audio, and upload just the audio on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, but like Spotify and iTunes are like the most popular ones. Then you can, again, transcribe the audio from the video, and you can upload, and you can write a blog from them. So you can write articles. You can use softwares as Descript or other.ai. So those are great transcription softwares, so AI tools. And then you can, again, cut them in smaller pieces and upload them as shorts on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. Yeah, repurpose it. And even if you just cut the articles in smaller pieces, like in smaller few sentences, you can upload the highlights to tweets. You can make them as tweets. So again, you have one piece of content, a long video, and yet you can repurpose it everywhere. Just pick the things that are really gonna work. For instance, if you have some boring clips from podcasts that you like, that are not really working, that are not boring, then they're not gonna make great TikTok or YouTube shorts. But still, for the podcast, it's fine. That's why it's podcast. And to create those shorts, there are also a bunch of other tools to use. There's a CapCut that has that kind of free software where you upload the video and it selects the pieces that can go viral on that platform, and essentially you can download them and then you put them on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Opus Pro or Opus Clip, I don't know. Also, tool like that, it costs like, I don't know, I think $20-30 a month. But yeah, you upload the video, you send the link to YouTube video, and it cuts it in pieces. It selects the key moments that are likely to go viral, and it already puts captions in there. We're gonna come back to that later. So now let's talk a little bit about Instagram and Facebook. If you have an Instagram and you create business account for your company, you can link it directly to Facebook. So when you post on Instagram, you also immediately post it on Facebook. The downside of that is that on business account, you don't have access to copyrighted sounds, which kind of sucks because then you have some really boring music that just doesn't sound like too well, and might not fit your content. For instance, the music that is really popular right now on YouTube is like funk, just like electronics, weird music that people post all the time. And it's copyrighted, so you don't have access on it on business account. But you have on personal and I think creator's account. But on creator account, you cannot link it to Facebook. So that means you have to post it independently on Facebook later. So also think of posting times, at which times your audience is active, so that you post and your post is right in their feed, right in front of them. On Instagram, you have posts, stories, reels, and threads. Threads is like a new kind of Twitter type of thing. I don't know about it though. But stories is like up to 1 minute, and reels are just videos. And posts, it could be carousels. Actually, carousels are working very well, where you have a picture, and then you can scroll onto the side. You will have a video and another video or another picture. So that's a carousel. Really cool platforms to use. Insta-tag for hashtags, because you do have to pick the right hashtags that fit your post, because essentially Instagram or Facebook put your content in front of people who follow those hashtags. For instance, I don't know, if you post business content, you would put like hashtag business, or I don't know, hashtag entrepreneurship. If it's a camera, hashtag YouTube. So Insta-tag, you can just, it finds you the tags that are popular today, and you can use those tags. Hopefully, they will help you to go viral. ManyChat is the tool for automating direct messaging. So when someone comments under your post, sends you a message, you can automate it so that a bot sends them a message right back quickly. WordSwag is just like a tool for creating quotes. It's an app for, it costs like $4, I think. You can download it and just quickly create a nice looking post with a quote in there, I don't know, something motivational, like keep going or some bullshit like that, and you can upload it to Instagram or Facebook. So on your Instagram, you need to have a nice bio. You have a link to your website so that people go to see your page, they see the grid of your post, and they see, oh, boom, he sells something, boom, I'll go check it out on his website. So yeah, make sure you have the category, which products you're selling. So I don't advise to post a lot of promotional stuff. Just instead promote content. Just post content, like content marketing. That works best. That draws people organically. That builds trust. It makes sure that you have loyal future customers. When you post on Facebook, also post some videos from YouTube. So you create a video, you put it on YouTube. Also post them on Facebook. Create a group in there, so you can have a page and a group in there. You need to go there live at least I don't know, once a week. It's the same on Instagram. You can go live there and you will see, and the Instagram will be showing you to followers. Yeah, also have nice graphics in there, because you can have the cover thingy. You can have a nice icon of your logo. So make sure you have a good description. So again, keyword friendly. All right, now let's talk about the rest of our social media channels. So LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a little bit more professional, so the stuff that you normally post on TikTok is not something that you would post on LinkedIn. So create your web page for yourself. So you have your profile, you have the profile of the company, and connect with people. So connect with people in your industry. You need to be active on LinkedIn. So constantly connect with people, post and comment, and like leave likes everywhere. And well, post, especially post, because when you are active on that social media, when you post constantly, when you comment, when you're being active, actually people constantly get notification that you did something, that you posting a new piece of content, or you commented on someone else's page or whatever. And people constantly see you. So the more active you are, the more exposure you get. So post there. So have a nice bio. So the descriptive that people, when they read your bio, they understand what you do and how you can help them possibly. So if you have a personal profile for yourself, you would have your titles, like what you do and what value you provide. So yeah, that's kind of like an example of what a good bio looks like, I guess. Moving on to YouTube. You need to post there at least once a week. And you can post podcasts or any long videos that you later can cut in shorts. So you don't only have to be focusing on shorts or long videos, you can mix them. But if you post podcasts and you invite people, they will say yes. Try to invite people, try to find your local businesses. Like for instance, if you bake pies, you can go to other local bakeries and invite owners from there, and they will say yes, because for them it's going to be free marketing, and you get an expert on your podcast, so your podcast is going to be more interesting. So definitely do that, they will say yes. But actually, the thing about YouTube, when you're just starting out, when you are a startup, you are an early stage startup, and you just start making content, don't worry about things too much, because you just started, and just post content, whatever you want, because well, post everything in your niche, of course. Try to be helpful. Don't just post crap and expect followers to come. No, still just don't worry about it too much, because essentially what the content that you post right now in these early startup stage, you just show people that you are still alive with your business, that you're still in business, that your startup is still doing something. So yeah, that's the primary purpose. Don't worry too much. You don't have to have an expensive equipment as well. You don't have to have expensive cameras or lights. You can literally just use your phone. So it's still gonna be great. If you have a really shitty camera, but you have a nice set of lights or even natural light, your video is gonna be looking professional. So in Finland, it's not the luxury that we have. It's pretty dark in here. So artificial lights it is. But if you have like a really good camera and really crappy lighting, then still your video is gonna look not as good. So yeah, don't worry about equipment too much. Like your phone is gonna do just fine. Then you're gonna upgrade a little. But when it comes to YouTube, you need to also have your brand there established. Have nice graphics. Have your logo in there. Put your bio and descriptive enough that people, when they come to your channel, they understand what you're doing. Go to my channel right now, WorkAI, and you will see that we post about artificial intelligence, startups, business, and well, a little bit about technology. So again, descriptive. Put your social media links in there so that people from YouTube can find you on other medias like TikTok, or maybe they're interested to see your LinkedIn. And a really cool tool actually use when you post something is to use vidIQ. So they have a free tier, but it's pretty useless if it's free. So yeah, you're probably gonna pay $50 a month, but it can create tags for you, the relevant tags, the tags in terms of competition, the ones that you can rank for, and you can also optimize your videos for search engine optimization. You can write nice descriptions. You can also use AI, and they have AI tools to write descriptions, to write titles. And you can research what works right now on YouTube according to what hashtags to use, what kind of content is working right now on YouTube, in what niches, depending where you are at. So yeah, you can use that. About the thumbnails and the hooks are really the thing that makes people click on your video. Because if people don't click on your video, then what's the point, right? So a good tip would be first figure out what kind of hook and what kind of thumbnail you want to use in your video. Hook, by the way, is something that literally makes people to watch your video. It's so interesting to them that they want to stick around because your hook was effective. And then throughout the video, you want to keep them watching the video. But hook is what makes them click, as well as the thumbnail. About the thumbnail, don't worry about too much. Also, just like background, push your face in there. If you're filming about like cameras, and just put cameras around your face. So that's the essence of how to make like a thumbnail, because don't overdo it, otherwise it's gonna look like crap. Try to use some color in there, because if it's like all black or all, I don't know, gray, when people use dark mode on YouTube, it's not gonna stand out. So a good tip for you. About the templates of the thumbnails, that you can find them on Canva also, or CapCut, or any other graphics editing tool, like, I don't know. But don't worry about it too much. Just like, it's really simple. If you start overthinking, like then you have a massive creativity block, then yeah, it's gonna be hard. But yeah, just come up with the thumbnail first, the hook, then write the script for your video. And it's a good idea to write scripts for your video. You can also put sounds in your video and different music. But if you find it on the internet and put it in your video, then you could get a copyright strike. If you get a bunch of those copyright strikes, then you are out of YouTube. So that's why, for instance, Epidemic Sounds, they offer the music that is copyright free. But also YouTube, when you go to your channel, you can also see some copyright-free music and sounds that you can also download and use in your videos. You will not get copyright strike from that, because that's copyright-free music. But for editing, you can start using DaVinci Resolve. It's like the best free software. It's something that we use. You can start doing it by yourself. It's not as hard as it seems. There are tons of content on YouTube how to use DaVinci Resolve. It's actually pretty simple. But later you can, of course, outsource it, because it can take you hours. Yeah, that's essentially what you do with YouTube. Now let's talk about a little bit about TikTok. TikTok is fantastic. Why? Because you don't need to have followers like on other social medias. Because regardless of how many followers you have, you may have 0 followers, but it's still, when you upload a video, it still will push you to the first 200, 300 people. So that means regardless how many followers you have, if you have one video, it still can go absolutely viral, and you can get millions of views even if you have 0 followers. But you have they have the test audience, the first 200 or 300 people that they show your content to, and if they respond well to it, they're gonna push it further to 1,000 views, to 10,000 views, and so forth. But if your hooks are not that appealing, or people are not sticking around or watching your full video, then you're not going to be going past 200 or 300 views. And when you are having your first 1,000 subscribers, you can go live. And TikTok has a really cool live feature, because when you go live, so you start recording in real time, TikTok keeps pinging you to new users. So constantly new people on TikTok will see that you have some stream, and they will come look at you. So all the time it will be pinging you, which is really, really cool. And then you can use that live stream, you can cut it into Reels and upload it on other social media channels like Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. So that's why it's really, really cool. So when you want to create those TikTok videos, which is the primary type of content of TikTok, so you need to do the research, see what works on TikTok. You want to research the hashtags that are relevant to your niche, that are relevant to your content, and essentially that bring people to your page. Then you want to also research the sounds, because the sounds also are very important on TikTok. So focus on one topic, at least at the start. Then the more you post, the faster you actually grow. Just don't overdo it, don't spam, don't post every hour of the day, because then TikTok is gonna consider you as a spammer, so don't do that. And at the first stages, don't worry about posting times. Also, I see constantly that people want to use VPN or buy American SIM cards so that they can post American audience. From what I heard and from what I tried, it doesn't really work. It only works if you have a proxy or an American SIM card. VPN doesn't work. So yeah, just deal with it. If you live in Europe, just post for people in Europe, but it's still some American people will see if that's where your audience is at. So don't worry about that too much. So yeah, use description with keywords. So again, SEO, use keywords that are relevant to your content and relevant to your channel. And when you post the growth and education content, you want to post like 2 or 3 pieces of content of growth and about 1 educational content, because TikTok is not for education. Let's be real. It's about stupid stuff that people keep watching when they want to chill out or just, I don't know, just lose some time. Growth content is just, you could post 5-second video, like you just sitting and reading and, I don't know, doing something, and then you have some information written in captions. And people will keep watching, the TikTok will be rolling that video over and over again. And as long as people are staying, every time they watch the 5-second video is going to count as a new view. So that's how those videos like end up getting a lot of views. So use big headline on the video, put like the big headline above your head, like about what you're talking about, and always use captions. If people are not good with speaking English or any other language, or if people are not using their headphones and they're just without sound or they're reading captions, so always have captions. We use CapCut for that because CapCut is free and like literally the best software for editing those short videos from our personal experience. And the most important thing, work on hooks, because if you don't get attention the first 2 or 3 seconds, then you lost an audience, you lost a person who would be a potential follower for you. Because people these days have literally the attention span of a goldfish. So make sure your hooks are on point. All right, final bits of our startup marketing blueprint is advertising and affiliate marketing. In the first stages of the startups, it's really not advisable to spend money on advertising, and you probably didn't have money for that because it can require like a lot of funds. But still, even if you do advertising, keep doing content marketing, because in the long run, it's still the way to get organic growth and people to come to your website organically. It's a good thing. But advertising, you can do Google ads, right? But you will be essentially paying per click. So whenever a person searches on Google for, I don't know, cameras, he's gonna see your page pop up on the first line, and there's gonna be like a tag, and that says sponsored. So yeah, they will know that you paid to be there. They will come there, and you will be paying like a few cents per that click. So that's one way to go. When you first register your business and you go and set up your Google Ads account, you get your like $400 credit. But LinkedIn Ads is I think LinkedIn Ads is like the best in terms of bringing people from businesses. So it's really good for driving sales to businesses, so B2B. But if you really want to sell something to consumers, like, I don't know, you sell mugs or cameras, you need consumer audience, then you probably would be better off to go to Instagram or Facebook or, I don't know, TikTok. But LinkedIn ads, they have high quality audience, so because who work with businesses and stuff. So that's why you're going to be paying much more. So for just algorithm to test where to put your ad, to what audience, to what niche, you're gonna have to spend at least $1,000, and it's gonna take like 3 weeks for the algorithm to understand where your advertising should be put. But the best types of LinkedIn ads, from what we found, is like images and videos. So images, like everywhere else, like on Instagram, you will just have a single image and something on some text above the image, right? Like the description, and then you have the link to your website. So that's one way to do it. And the messaging, it's when you, without needing to connect with people, you will be sending out automated messages to a bunch of people, and you'll be paying some cents, maybe $1 for each message sent. But it's not available in Europe, so take that into account. And yeah, LinkedIn ads is really cool. They also have like a tracker. So whenever someone clicks on the button to go to your website from that ad, LinkedIn has a better understanding if the person makes a conversion, if he or she goes to your website to just check it out, or they actually buy something. To do that, you have to go into the code of your website. It could be done with Wix or Webflow, like the website builders we've talked about, or it could be hard-coded. Essentially, it allows social media channels like LinkedIn and Facebook to track the behavior of a lead, what they do when they go from the ad to your website, whether they make a purchase, whether they purchase it, and then it's going to count as a conversion. Then it will give a signal to algorithm where else should they put your ads to what people to continue doing those conversions. If you have advertising on Instagram or on Facebook, then you have to also put pixel in there, which is the same thing, which is the tracker that analyzes whether a person who came from the ad actually bought something. Then it's going to be counting as a conversion. But you can also skip that part and instead just focus on people clicking. Again, it will be paying per click, which is less efficient. It gives LinkedIn or Facebook less information whether that was the actual target audience whom they just showed your ad. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But moving on to affiliate marketing. The second best type of marketing is affiliate marketing, because the first best type of marketing is when your product is so good that people that bought it, and people that use it, talk to their friends and family about your product, and they just bring them for the goodwill. They just bring their friends to try your product, to try a service just because you did such a great job. That's the best type of marketing. But the second best type of marketing is when influencers or someone with a big audience talk about your product and they bring their audience to you. So essentially affiliate marketing is when, example, if you have a YouTube channel, again, you talk about cameras, and you have an audience of a bunch of YouTube lovers or a bunch of photographers who take pictures or record videos, and here you have a merchant who sells cameras. So I would partner up with a cameraman and essentially I talk about those cameras to my audience. That audience goes to that website. They buy the cameras. They buy everything. I just told them about it. Like, hey, buy this camera. It's amazing. And they go buy it, and they give me 10 or 20% commission. So if a camera costs $100, the person from my audience bought the camera for $100. I get 20 on each $100. So that's in the essence how commission-based affiliate marketing works, which is really effective because essentially the merchant doesn't have to pay anything up front, performance-based. So if my audience buys something, then I'm getting money. If they don't buy, if I don't have the right audience, then I'm not going to get anything, and the merchant is going to pay anything. It seems like a win-win situation, so everyone benefits. But if you do want to go that route with commission-based marketing, affiliate marketing, which is the best way, you need to have custom links for each of your affiliates. You need to bring affiliates in. You have to give them each custom link so that you can later identify which customer came from which affiliate and whom do you need to pay according to the amount of customers they brought. You can go to the platforms like ClickBank or ShareSale, which are affiliate platforms, but you would have to pay them to set up your account in there, which can be a stretch for the early stage startup. But you can do that if you have the money for it. But if you don't, then you need to reach out to them. You need to reach out to bloggers. You need to reach out to YouTubers, to micro-influencers on TikTok, who would talk about your product, who would write articles about your product, and who would drive that traffic to your website. And essentially, they're going to get the commission from each sale, only each unit sold from your website to that audience that they brought. So yeah, you can use trackdesk.com, cool software, easy to use. And you also should put bring a friend page on your website. So like if I bring a friend to your website, then I get like $50 and the friend gets a discount on the service. For instance, if it's software as a service, I get $50, my friend gets a free trial for a couple months. So yeah, a win-win again. And you also can set up a page for affiliate partnership where if I have that audience, if I have a TikTok channel with thousands of followers and I would want to promote your product on my channel, I could reach out to you through your website. If you have an email in there, then that's how affiliate partnership works. And the thing about the affiliate marketers, the more you have them, the better, because usually how it works, if you can have 100 affiliates, but you will have like only a few of them who drive the most of the traffic, like 5 of them. And the rest is going to be bringing like 1 or 2 clients a month. That could also work, and that is totally fine as long as you have those big affiliates who bring the most of the traffic. All right, guys, there you go. The whole blueprint here for you. You can use that to starting doing your brand, to start doing your marketing for your early stage startup. I hope it was helpful to you, because that's how everyone starts. When you start having people on board, when you start having money, you can outsource all of that stuff to marketing agencies and your employees who will be in charge of marketing. But because you are a early stage startup, you don't have a lot of money, so you got to do all that stuff by yourself. And there are a lot of tools that you need to use. There are a lot of things that you need to take into account, and you have options in terms of marketing. Make sure to comment down below if you have any questions about your startup or marketing. I will help you out. And more videos are coming up, so subscribe on our channel to get notifications for more cool videos like this. All right, until next time, good luck.